Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's episode is going to be dealing with resistance. The resistance is it's kind of opposition that happens in therapies to the certain process that you're going through. It's basically if your therapist comes over and says to do something or to explore a certain kind of emotion, or you come to the point where you want to do something but something is kind of pulling you back. So the resistance is kind of this energy that doesn't allow you to push forward. It can appear as a thought or as a feeling or just general feeling of discomfort, and it's usually connected to ego. And in the way that ego reacts to things is to kind of defend you from whatever's happening. And ego is developed ever since we were small children. So whatever kind of experience that you had that wasn't really pleasurable or was shameful or it kind of went wrong, the ego always tries to defend you from experiencing that kind of emotion again. And the thing that ego doesn't know is that you're a grown-up, because ego doesn't have the sense of time. So in a way, when you come to the point where you're resisting something, it's as if you fall back into the age where the original resistance appeared. There is a couple of ways that you can deal with resistance depending on what you really want. So if you want to go deeper into resistance to understand it completely, that's the first way to deal with resistance. There is also another way, which it kind of depends on what you want to achieve with this resistance. Do you want to heal it, or you already understand it and you just want to kind of move it aside so it's not in your way anymore? Because you see, even when you deal with the resistance, when you even resolve it, it's still gonna appear like a kind of weird feeling in your gut that's gonna kind of show up from time to time until you kind of go through it enough times so it disappears entirely. But if you kind of leave it aside, if you don't practice whatever your resistance was, it can still come back. It's that strong. I had a lot of different kinds of resistances in my life. Most of my life was one big resistance. That's one of the reasons why I was constantly tired and constantly, I don't know, out of energy, because half of my energy was spent in dealing with the resistances I had inside of my body and mind. So in a way, if you want to go with the second version of dealing with resistance, I'm going to talk about that one because it's going to take less time, and then I'm going to talk about the first one because that one is a bit more complicated. So if you're going to do it second way, which is kind of useful if you're taking a role as something like taking a role of dominant in a relationship. So you come to the part where you need to experience your dominance completely. So it's like a test. So you decided to step up into this role, and what you want to do is you want to stay in it without breaking as long as you can. This is a way of dealing with resistance, but you need to be aware that you need to know what your resistance is. Let's say like this: throughout your life, throughout your childhood, your mom wanted you to be a good boy, and your ego learned that the safe way to go through life is to be a good boy, okay? If you try to be a badass male, that's in charge, your ego is trying to say, no, stop what you're doing, no, this is dangerous. So in a way, if you understand that this is happening inside you, and the most important thing is that you get it, you can just push right through it. You can step in your role, stay in it, and listen to your resistance saying, oh no, I shouldn't be doing this, I'm not a bad guy, I'm a good guy, I love girls, like I want to be nice and kind to them. And you're like, okay, that's fine. And just stay in your role as long as you can, and see at the end, the thing you're gonna experience is a tons of guilt. The first thing you're gonna feel like, oh my god, I am hurting my mom. Oh my god, I'm a bad person. Oh my god. And you know, even though your mental part of brain knows that you're doing this in a consensual way, that everybody's enjoying it and that you're enjoying it, it's super fun, it's nothing serious, you know, the other part of your brain is gonna be like, and you will, days after, feel guilty for it. You're gonna feel like you did something wrong, and this actually is bringing you back to the original feelings that you felt during your childhood, every time when you tried to expose who you are and what you were made of. Every time when you wanted to stand up for yourself and someone did this on your head, it's gonna bring you back to that moment. Okay, so the other thing is what you can do. I do this a lot because you see, my traumas are made in a way that I made myself forget about them, because that was the only safe way for my ego to keep something away from me, because I'm a very analytic person. I just, you know, like when I see something, I take it and so the only way that my ego could force me to not deal with something is to make me forget it. So what I'm doing is, when I feel that there is some kind of resistance in me, and it's usually, I can't name it, it's just a feeling, it's like something is wrong, and like I can't name it. I'm like, I don't feel well, this doesn't feel well, this kind of feels wrong. The thing I do, I try to expose myself to more of that wrong. But by exposing yourself to something that you are resistant to, it's not always a matter, it's not resistance. Let's get this straight. Resistance is not disliking something. You can dislike stuff and that's all right, that's your personal preference. But resistance is when you like something, but you're like, you have like a handbrake pulled up and you're like, you can't go into it. That's what real resistance is. You like something, but you can't really get involved in it. I am gonna put on my Patreon like a small example of the process. I'm gonna be doing it myself. I am gonna lead myself through the process of dealing with resistance, and I'm gonna pick something nasty. I'm kind of actually really excited for it, because I want to do so much on my Patreon, and as soon as this virus thing is over, I will work with other people, I promise. But now I can't. Like, I only have my partner, and he did promise that he's gonna be a guest in one of the videos that I'm gonna be doing. Anyways, dealing with resistance. If you want to get anywhere, if you want to get a lot of money, you need to see what your resistance is towards a lot of money. If you want to get a good partner, you need to see what your resistance is towards a good relationship. The things you're going to find out are funny, crazy, unbelievable, because in a way, when we were kids, our brain didn't function the way it does now, and a lot of conclusions that we made were made by child's brain. For example, if we saw that mom and dad are out of the house a lot because they're earning money, we could say, oh, money is bad. We wouldn't say like mom and dad are bad. It's the money. Money is the source of abandonment. You wouldn't believe how much shit can you staple onto things. And in order to live a free life, resistance is the first thing that you need to deal with. The person that actually developed the theory of resistance was Sigmund Freud, of course, because he saw that in therapies a lot of patients particularly avoid the subject that they should work on the most. I've seen that happening a lot. It's kind of putting your finger in a wasp's nest and just like, ugh, no, this is like shitty part. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to, you know, see this. In a way, human ego is something that we're trying to protect so much. And it is important, like your ego is important, but sometimes it's like a wild beast that is protecting you from things that are no longer there, because it doesn't understand the concept of time. It doesn't understand that there's no mommy and daddy anymore to punish you if you do something wrong. It just doesn't. It kind of thinks that the entire world is a bunch of mommies and daddies trying to punish you for your bad behavior. So anyways, be sure to check my Patreon for more updates and more videos on resistance, and it will be online probably in a week's time. I hope you did like this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I wish you all a very good day.